Hey everybody, welcome to the Master and Drum Whiskey Room. How you doing? I am back from a long couple weeks of traveling. I was in Vegas. I was in Louisville. I was in New York. I was in Kentucky for the last 2 weekends. So been kind of all over the place, but glad to be back here on this Whiskey Wednesday night with you guys, hanging out. Tonight we are gonna be kicking off Blendageddon. I got a bunch of entries this year. Tonight, what we're gonna do, and I'll go over the reason why here. So tonight we're gonna do our 4 Scotch blends. I got 4 Scotch blends total that I received throughout, leading up to tonight. And what's happening next week on next week's show? I'm having Brooke Lottie on as a guest. So we're gonna have and also Matt from Whiskey Crusaders. We're gonna come on. We're gonna talk to Brooke Lottie, one of my favorite Scotch distilleries. Talk to them a little bit, and then the following week we're gonna start getting into all the American whiskey and bourbon blends leading up to do the tournament for the next several weeks. So that's how it's going to work out. I figured to do the Scotch tonight and then have a little break next week and then get into all the bourbon blends right after. Because I received, what was the final count? I have 15 American whiskey blends to taste through that all of you out there sent in. So I cannot wait to get into those. Got some really great feedback. Got some people that were really serious about putting these blends. So it should be a really fun next month or so, guys. So thanks for coming in. Let's say hi to some people in the chat. We have Tom R's in the house, Juan Quintanilla, Trev Wilson, who decided he wanted a sample of the Jep the Creed. I told him how bad it was, and he tried it earlier, and he agreed. Rebecca Page is here. I think she went back to work, but thanks for coming in, Rebecca. Let's see, who else? Steve A is in the house as usual. The Oak and Smoke Whiskey Reviews. How you doing, Brent? We have Jason Coates. Mark J. G is in the house. Christopher David. Mose Chun is here. I got more people coming in. Let's see. The Bourbon Buddies is here. Donner Pass Whiskey. Cap and Make It Happen, of course. He is in the running tonight. We also have Joseph Brazo is in the house. How you doing, Joseph? Brandon Elliott's here. Bourbon Sane, how you doing, Chris? Thanks for coming in. Andrew Spurrell, Nick Foles, ADHD Fishing. Let's do this, he says. Roscoe P. Coltrane is in the house. How you doing? Guy Davis is here. Lovely to see you guys. Karen B. Ford, how are you? Thanks so much for coming in. Here we go. That's right. Everyone's getting Jimmy T's here. Robot Scott's in the house. Bourbon Apprentice is here. Oh, we got the Dancing Ron Swanson already. Mose Chun has donated $5 to the super chat. Getting things kicked off tonight. Mose Chun, this is for you, buddy. Woo! Getting Blendageddon started off right. Whiskey Crusaders in the house. How you doing, Matt? Thanks for coming in. Dark Meat Chicken. He wrote Sipping My Blend that I didn't send in. 2 parts A119, 1 part Joseph Magnus Triple Cask, and 1 part Peerless Rye. Didn't turn out as great as I wanted. Sounds good on paper, though, buddy. Let's see. Who else we got here? Dram Man Kentucky's in the house. How you doing, man? New Menium's here. He is in the house. Peter White is here. Let's see. And who else? More people jumping in. Awesome. Got 57 watching already. All right, guys. So in my travels, the last few weeks, I picked up, some really cool bottles. So I wanted to share those with you guys a little bit. So, but before we get started, it's time to pour a dram. And I'm going to start off with, I'm not sure if you guys have been following it around the Whiskey Tube community, but it is here, the Beagle Rare Kentucky Howl. So I've taken a few sips of this, been experimenting with some blends when I want to add to it. This video should release, I think, tomorrow. We're going to release it. And I'm going to let you guys know when I'm blending in it. But if you guys don't know, this is the community blend, the community infinity blend, conceived by ADHD Fishing, who's in the chat. It's been around through a few different channels. Bourbon Sane, Bourbon Junkies, Whiskey Dick had it, Dusty Dan, Trying to remember who else had it already, but yeah. So it's at my doorstep now. It's absolutely, it's really good stuff, but I do felt like it needed something. So I'll let you guys know what that is on the next video. So yes, the Beagle Rare, the Beag is in the house. So I'm going to say cheers to you guys. Thanks for coming in for this Whiskey Wednesday night, and welcome back to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room. Cheers. There's some damn good bourbon in there. I will say that. Damn good whiskey. It's got a ton of flavor to it. I'll break it down more in my video because there's a lot of different flavors that this bottle is already starting to give off. So we'll get into that. Bourbon Apprentice, best idea ever. Yeah, it really was. Yeah, it's pretty genius. Old Charter is probably one of the best names ever too. Gotta love the Old Charter. All right, guys, so this is what we're going to do now. We're going to, I do want to take a moment like I usually do and say thanks to all my Patreons. If your name is on this list, you're in the chat or you're watching, I want to say thank you to you so much for the support. The list is getting bigger and bigger, and I can't say thanks enough for all my supporters out there. So thank you all for supporting the channel. And if you're interested, head over to Patreon/The Mash and Drum. And learn about the different tiers and how you can become a Patreon. So let's start off with some whiskey news, guys. Before we get into the showdown tonight, I do want to mention, before we get into news, I did want to show you some bottles. I forgot because I got caught up in the Beagle Rare story. Hey, Dusty Dan's in the house. What is up, broski? So let me go back to the main scene here. So a couple bottles I did pick up was... I got this beauty, which I was really excited to find. So this is the Long Row Sherry Cask 14-year, which I got, limited release. Wanted to get that before, after I saw the Scotch 4 Dummies do a review on it. I was finally able to get my own bottle of the Peerless Bourbon. I actually ran into Caleb Kilburn at Westport Whiskey and Wine in Kentucky. And he was kind of talking about the next batch with me and how good it came out. So can't wait to get into that one. One other bottle I'm really excited about is this Wilderness Trail that I got. So this is the Wilderness Trail bottled in bond, but it is my first pick from Westport Whiskey and Wine. It is super, super unique, sweet, a lot of caramel, way more caramel heavy than the original bottle that I had. Just an outstanding pick. These Wilderness Trail picks are starting to hit the market, and I couldn't be more excited to grab one. Also, I mentioned Bruichladdich earlier, and this was my a bottle that I found. This is a brand new release, the Bear Barley, which they are introducing to their core line now. It was a special release. Now it's going to be part of their core line. So I'm going to be cracking this open with Bruichladdich next week. So I'm really excited for that one. Also, a review that I have coming up for probably one of my new favorite Irish whiskeys. I don't know if it's Redbreast good or if it's going to be up there soon, but it's getting pretty close. And that's Teeling. So I have all three of the core ranges that I picked up, all three of the core range bottles that I got. So I'm going to be doing a review with all three of these. So this is the single malt. Then you have the Irish whiskey. This is the small batch, which is finished in rum. And then you have the single grain. So the single grain I've had a sample of. It's absolutely amazing stuff. I've never had the single malt. And the small batch is definitely a delicious option as well. So look for those videos coming up soon. And one other bottle I got, guys, the last one, is I got a great Knob Creek 15-year-old pick as well. So you can't go wrong with the Knob Creek 15-year picks because... they're about $45, and it's a steal. Joseph Brazo said it's the wheated one. The Wilderness Trail is the wheated version. So I got to try a sample of it at the store, and it's awesome. Hey, it's Scotty from My Bourbon Journeys in the house. Todd Kwarzinski is here. Let's see. The Bourbon Buddy is non-chill filter, no coloring, exactly, and all the tealings. I love it. So, all right. Captain Make It Happen is having some Compass Box hedonism to get the palate going. Awesome. All right, guys, so let's get into some whiskey news. We got some stuff to get through and also a really big announcement just today, so right on time. But first, I want to give a shout out to my man, Jimmy Russell, who recently celebrated his 65th year with Wild Turkey. Celebrated his 65th anniversary with the brand. He's the Buddha of bourbon, the Yoda of bourbon, whatever you want to call him. He's been with the brand since September 10th, 1954. Oversaw the production of Wild Turkey brands. He also created Rare Breed, as well as Russell's Reserve with his son, Eddie Russell. He's a member of the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame. He's in the Whiskey Hall of Fame. He's also the longest tenured active master distiller in the spirits industry. So if anyone has some Wild Turkey in their glass tonight, give a little cheers to Jimmy. Next up, for you, speaking of Compass Box, very good timing, Cap and Make It Happen. They are releasing their Compass Box Myths and Legends limited edition series coming up. This is 3 new whiskeys as part of the limited edition series. Each of the whiskeys featured unique blends intended to challenge assumptions, biases, and prejudices concerning Scotch. The first expression is called Legends 1. This is meant to highlight that single cask alone do not often represent the true style of whiskey from a distillery. Instead, it is the blending of casks from a distillery that offer the true character. This is comprised of 2 malt whiskeys from the Ball Blair Distillery. The first is aged for 15 to 16 years in recharred American oak. The second is for 22 years in first fill bourbon barrels. Only 4,394 barrels are available worldwide. It is bottled at 46% ABV. I know Mike from Whiskey Shenanigans is probably going to go crazy over that one since he's such a Ball Blair nut. Compass Box Myth and Legends number 2. They blended from a single Speyside distillery. In this case, it's Glenelgin or Glenelgin. Not sure how to say that. The idea behind this expression is to show that what process of whiskey creation and maturation matter more than where the whiskey comes from. All but one of the 6 malt whiskeys are used in recharred American oak hogsheads for 16 to 22 years. The 6th was aged in refill sherry for 23 years. Only 4,446 bottles are available worldwide, also bottled at 46%. And the last one is number 3. This one takes aim at the notion that famous single malt brands should never be used in blending. It takes some of the same parcels from that Glenelgin used in the second one and adds peated malt whiskeys from Highland Park and Kalila. The youngest whiskey used in the blend aged for 15 years, while the oldest aged for 23. Again, this one's about 4,500 bottles worldwide, 46% and non-chill filtered as well. No pricing on these yet, guys. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any pricing. So, Bourbon Apprentice. Yeah, I'm actually just getting over a little bit of a cold. My voice is a little shot, but it's nothing a little bourbon can't fix. Next up, Maker's Mark releases their brand's first nationally available limited edition bourbon. So while Maker's Mark has released plenty of limited edition bourbons in the past, none were available nationally until this one. This is the Maker's Mark Wood Finishing Series RC6. It's a cast strength bourbon using proprietary wood staves known as Stave Profile RC6. These virgin American oak staves were seasoned for 18 months, then baked in a conventional oven. The next 10 staves were added to each fully matured cast strength Maker's Mark barrel for additional aging. Only 255 barrels were produced. The proof will range from about 108.2 to 110.5. Will be available across Kentucky and at the distillery in September of this month, followed by a national release in October. They plan to actually release more limited edition bourbons to the series over the next few years. So, if you're a Maker's Mark fan, this is pretty exciting stuff. They really never had a national released special release, so really kind of excited for that one. I do like what Maker's Mark does with the staves and the finishing. Next up, we have, Rabbit Hole. Back in 2019, Pernod Ricard announced that it was acquiring a majority stake in Rabbit Hole. It's announced its 4th whiskey release named the High Gold. High Gold is a high rye bourbon made with a mash bill of 70% corn, 5% malted rye, and 25% malted rye, imported from Germany. It is just under 4 years in a new toasted and charred American oak. It's non-chill filtered, bottled at 47.5% ABV, with a suggested price of about $70. This will launch across the United States at bars and stores in late September. The new release coincides with the repackaging and renaming of the other whiskeys in its portfolio. The Boxer Grail, the Cave Hill, and the Derringer are the new names for its rye, bourbon, and the bourbon in PX sherry, respectively. However, the juice is still going to be the same in all 3 bottles. And the last story of the night, guys, is Eagle Rare 17 and the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. Now, this was just announced today. Now, around this time every year, everyone gets crazy because the announcement comes out. As you guys know, although each bottle has a suggested retail price of about $100, sadly, few, any, or if any of them will be sold at that price, unless you happen to luck out in a retail store lottery, which could happen, but the prices should be much higher, as you guys know. So the Eagle Rare 17 bourbon this year, this was distilled in spring of 2002, matured on the first floor of Warehouse P for 17 years. This is also bottled at 101 proof, just like the 2018 release. Next up is the George T Stag, probably the most available of the antique collection. George T Stag, this is uncut, unfiltered. Due to many of the barrels having matured on the lower levels of the warehouses, this year's edition is the lowest proof release of Stag to date. However, it's still bottled at a healthy 116.9 proof. This year's release contains bourbon barrels filled in the spring of 2004, which roughly makes it about 15 years old. Storage of these barrels were kind of... Oh, we got a super chat. We got the Dancing Ron Swanson. Risk Haskew donated $25 to the super chat. Wow, thank you so much, Risk. He said, yo, got the box. That is off the hook. Thanks so much. Rick, it is my pleasure. Thank you so much for being a legendary drummer as a patron supporter. So thanks so much. All right, back to BTAC, guys. That's Eagle Rare. Back to the George T Stag. So because these were varied, the evaporation loss for this year's batch was 56%, which is a bit higher than last year's release. So they lost a lot to the Angels, so they're drinking good up there. Next one is the Sazerac 18. This year's batch of Sazerac 18 was distilled in spring of 2001, matured in warehouses K and L, and this one is at 90 proof. Thomas H. Handy, one of my favorite ryes in the world. This is a bit over 6 years old. This is uncut, unfiltered Kentucky straight rye, distilled in the spring of 2013, matured in warehouse K, M, and N, bottled at 125.7 this year. And last but not least, the William LaRue Weller. This comes in about 12 years old this year. Uncut, unfiltered wheated bourbon, as you guys know. This year's batch was distilled in the winter of 2007, matured in warehouse I, and is bottled at 128 proof. So, that was a mouthful. A lot of news to get through, guys, but I just heard that BTAC news today, and I wanted to kind of get it out there for you in case anybody was wondering what the stats on those bottles would be this year. So hopefully, if you guys do any state lotteries like I'm going to do here in Ohio, hopefully one of us gets lucky. Jason Coates says 116 proof. Well, guess I'm not getting that one. Silly's okay. Whoa, made the live stream. Oh, Killajolt is here. How you doing, Killajolt? Thanks for coming in. The Dream Finding at William LaRue Weller. Yeah. The Dream Finding at William LaRue Weller. Yeah, definitely. I would be interested to try that one. Well, all of them, any of them. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll get lucky in the state lottery. You never know. All right, guys, we're coming up on 19. Let's see. It's 9:20. Trewood says, yeah, can't wait to go to the raffles and not win. Yeah, same here. I've tried the last 3 years and nothing. No BTAC, no Pappy, niente. As my grandmother would say, niente. Brandon Weiss says, wish we had state lotteries in California. Oh, no lotteries there. Not even in any of the stores, Brandon? Oh, that Beagle Rare is good stuff. All right, guys, so this is what we're going to do. Joseph Brazo said, I would drink the ass out of that Stag. Yeah, I think it being such a low proof, it actually makes it a little bit more dangerous. Look at the Elijah Craig barrel proof, just the one that was released, the B. That one's the lowest one they've ever released at 122.2, and that one is way too easy to drink. It's very dangerous. Okay. So, it's time to get Blendageddon started, guys. So I want to introduce you to the contenders tonight. And here they are. Patrick Fulmer, Rob D, Cap and Make It Happen, and Jason Coates. Now, this is the Scotch Blend contest, guys. These are the 4 guys that sent in Scotch blends, along with some, I think, Cap'n also sent in a American whiskey blend, so he'll be in the next round once we start the American whiskeys. But I figured tonight, let's go through all 4 of these. Let's crown a champion tonight for these Scotch blends. So that's what we're going to do. Good luck to all 4 of you tonight in the blends. So I have them all here, all lined up. So I have a sticker on the bottom of each glass with a letter. And those letters denote I have a key in this envelope with the results. I'm going to taste through them all, see which one I like best. And the winner tonight, I have a really cool prize for the winner tonight. We'll get this custom-made mash and drum flask and topper series. It's a matte black flask with my logo on it, and that will go to the winner tonight, along with a couple samples for you to put into that flask. So the winner tonight gets that. Bourbon Buddies, here we go. Good luck, Scotches. All right, guys, just hold on. Just checking out. Just make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat there. Okay, perfect. All right, so let me take off the whiskey hats. And then it's going to be time to mix these up. I'm going to take some notes here. All right, so you guys can see here. Here are 4 contenders. So we're going to mix these up around. I haven't nosed these. I haven't smelled them. I barely looked at them. I basically poured them, covered them, put the whiskey hats on them, and called it a night. So this would be the first time I'm experiencing any of these blends. So I cannot wait to try these. Let's lift it up here, guys. All right. Trev Wilson says, I'm calling Cap'n as the winner. Dude wins a lot. He does win a lot. Trev, Cap'n never freaking loses. All right, well, we'll see. So let me where's my pen? There we go. I'm going to start taking some notes here, guys. So let's go into the first one, and let's see what we get before we reveal these later to see who becomes the winner. So first one. Fat Trumpet said, what were the rules again? At least 2 or as many as you wish. There were 2 categories. You had the American whiskey category and the or a Scotch whiskey category. You could send 1 entry per category. But if you want to just send 1 for the Scotch and 1 for the American whiskey, you could do that. So what's good is I haven't really been drinking anything the last couple days, so my palate should be pretty sharp, I hope. So this one right away on the nose is extremely sweet. I feel like there's a little bit some sherry influence in there. This one is super lemony and toasty. Very like buttered toast aspect to it. With a little bit of some jam on top. Start getting hungry, guys. Hey, Patrick Fulmer's in the house. How you doing, Patrick? Thanks for coming in. Yep, so you are in here. Does Johnny Walker count as a blend? Yeah, this has a little bit of a saltiness to it, maybe a little bit. Really beautiful nose. This is sweet. Slightly, man, what is that? I don't think there's little to no peat in this one. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that. but it's really good on the nose. It's got really bold, classic single malt Scotch flavors. There's a lot of sweetness to it. It's got some that burnt toast, some honey butter on there, some lemon. Really nice. All right, let's go in for a taste. Here we go. Blendageddon. Let's get it started. Oh. Nope, there's some peat in there. Woo. That one starts off sweet, and then all of a sudden it just blasts you with flavor there. Nice finish, pretty good mouth coating there. Let's go for another sip. I'm thinking there's some Springbank in there. I taste that funk. Pretty good proof. I would say that is probably about anywhere between 100, 105 proof, maybe 110. It's got a really nice spicy finish to it, which I love. Go for another sip. Yeah, the more you sip on this, the sweeter it gets. Stays peppery. Very, very mouth coating. It's very creamy on the palate, this one. Really nice. I like that one. All right, let me get some... it's hard to judge when it's only the first one. So let's go back here. I'm going to write some notes. Let's see. Peppery. I'm guessing Springbank is in there. Who knows? I do have, I think, a couple to blend reveals, so we could go through them once we do the reveal tonight, guys. I'm going to say about 100 to 115 proof on that. Ooh, on that one. Got the hiccups. All right, let's go for a sip of water. All right, let's go in for number 2 and see what we get on the nose here. Oh. This one has, wow. This one has more of a barley heavy nose to it. This one comes off more as a, this one reminds me more of a Brook Lottie type nose. Maybe a little Kalila. Super, super sweet. This is like a ton of vanilla caramel candy on the nose on this one. Like vanilla caramel like drizzled over like pancakes or something. It's so good. Moo76, who added the splash of Bud Light to their sample. This has just a really beautiful candy sweetness to it. It is really like, it just, I don't know if it's like sugary sweet or fruity sweet. This reminds me a little bit of like possibly like an Octomore type nose to it. It could just be the type of blend it is. I don't know how many's in here, but it's really creating a great sweet and malty balance on this one. All right, let's go for a sip. Here we go. Cheers. Well, that one stayed sweet. It's got a little bit of a peat to it, but I don't think the proof on that one is that high. It really didn't do too much on my palate. Let's go for another sip. That is a very dangerous sipper. Whatever blend that is, that thing hits your palate like candy. Then all of a sudden the barley comes in. And then as it finishes it off, it finishes so easy. It's so fast and doesn't really stick around too long. I wish I had a little bit better of a finish on it. Going for one more sip. There's a lot of sweetness. I'm getting a little hint of a peat, I think, but very, very little. But it's not as mouth coating as number 1, and it's not as the finish isn't nearly as great as number 1. So this one is sweet, very sweet. This is a dangerously easy sipper. I would say that the proof on this, I would guess this is about 46 ABV, maybe. I would think. It's just going down so easy and very smooth. So let's go for a sip of water. See what you guys are talking about. People are saying, "Oh, refractometer. Yeah, isn't that the tool that will actually tell you the proof of your whiskey? They are pricey." Jason Coe says, "I use math to sort out ABV as long as you know what went in and how much." Okay. Math is far easier if you're just playing around. Numenium, has anyone tried the Mic Drop 3.0? Yeah, Numenium. Actually, you could check out, I tried it live when I was in New York on one of my last live streams. I liked it a lot, and so did my mother, actually. It tastes like orange creamsicle. And then Scott from My Bourbon Journey, if you follow his channel, he also reviewed it as well, so go check that out. All right, so far, just off the first two, I'm leaning a little bit towards number one here. Number two was good, very sweet, very easy, but just didn't offer enough of a flavor punch there. It was a little bit too easy. But if you like that, I mean, that's a really good easy sipper, very sweet, very good to sip on there. Let's go into number three, see what we get here. All right, so this one I'm getting way more, this is like more caramels and vanillas here. This one definitely has some proof to it. This one seems to have a little bit more sherry influence to me. Could be wrong though. Definitely that classic, that burnt toast characteristic to it. Man. That one, yeah, I could smell the proof on that one. That one has some depth to it. It's deep, it's dark, it's rich. I don't know if this is just older aged whiskeys in here or maybe a blend of more whiskeys. Remember, you could use as many as you want. This one's really fruity on the nose. I'm getting some cherry. I'm getting some more that caramel, kind of caramel drizzled cherries. It's very sweet. Little powdered sugar. Picking up some raisins, some dates. This one I would think has way more sherry influence here on this one than the other two. And I like that, actually. There's a good mix of sweet and some good spice there. Some oranges coming through, too. Some candied orange. This one reminds me a little bit of a like an older Glendronach, a little bit. All right. Here we go. Cheers. Whoa. That one is a proof monster. That one comes in, just freaking attacks you with flavors. The front is very sweet, but the back end is extremely like cereal forward. Very malty, burnt toast. You're still getting a lot of that honey characteristic there too. A lot of orange I'm getting on this one. Go for another sip. It's so sweet up front, and then all of a sudden there's something just like funky on the mid palate, and I can't like wrap my head around it. Is it peat? Is it that Springbank funk that's in there? Is it just the way they blended together? Man, that is really funky. Yeah, I feel like the sherry finish I was getting on the nose is not translating to the palate, but it actually makes for an interesting kind of experience because it's almost like you're drinking two different whiskeys. The nosing is really sweet up front, but when you drink it, it's got a ton of proof and some really nice barley funk to it. It's almost like musty, but in a good way. That's why I say that Springbank Funk a little bit, maybe. Maybe a little bit of Octomore in there. There's some like sharp peatiness in there, I think. Or it could just be some high proof. It just could be some high proof stuff. Like, that one's probably the most interesting out of the three that I've had so far. That one's really kind of throwing me for a loop. Let me go for one last sip here. Yeah, I like that one a lot. It's got a great finish. It's a very mouth coating, close to letter A on the mouth coating, but the kind of the journey it takes you through here, from the front of the palate with all the fruit, and then mid palate, kind of that musty burnt toast funk, and then a really nice spicy long finish. I like C a lot. That one is very well. I don't know if that's what you were going for, whoever blended this one, but it kind of takes you through like a little bit of everything that you want in a blend. You know, it kind of brings you the best of all the worlds of everything that you blended together. It's really nice. Okay, so let's go to this one. Has a good amount of proof. I would guess that one is probably 100 to 110 somewhere proof wise. Maybe even a little bit more. This one is really sweet up front. Spicy mid palate. And then, let's see, and then just really nice spicy finish. All right. I think it's really close between A and C here, or 1 and 3, however you want to call it. We still need to get into the last one. So anybody in the chat, is anyone in the chat heading to Four Roses this weekend to try to get their hands on the special release of Four Roses, the limited edition select? Anyone going? Because I'm thinking I might head down, so if I see you there, definitely come over and say hi. Bourbon Apprentice actually planned to take tonight off, and then was like, crap, at the Mash and Drum is love tonight. There goes that idea. Well, thanks for coming on, buddy. Live tonight. Yeah, thanks so much, man. Yeah, is anyone heading down to Four Roses this weekend? I was thinking about going. I went last year, but I've been in Kentucky the last 2 weekends, so I'm thinking maybe I'll go again just to try to get a bottle. It's got some pretty old age whiskey, some old age bourbons in there. It's a 21-year-old, a 15-year-old. It should be I'm kind of looking forward to that one. It looks like I'm going to get skunked on the birthday bourbon, so I might just go for that one if I can. Killajolt says, get me a bottle too, buddy. Thanks. It's one per person, man. Sorry. Karen B. Ford said, we are going. Oh, Karen's going. Awesome. Fat Trumma said, I cheated and got a couple bottles shipped to me from Cali of the Four Roses. So yeah, I'll be there. So Karen, hopefully I'll see you there. That'll be awesome. All right, let's go into the last one here. Let's go to the nose and see what we get, guys. This one to me has like a Bunnahabhain nose, and you guys know I love Bunnahabhain. So nice sweet raisin, malt, toast, honey. Bit of a fig note in there I'm getting. Very sweet. I don't think, except for this one, I don't think any, except for letter or number 3, I don't think a lot of these have a lot of sherry influence. I'm just getting a lot of malt, or maybe my nose isn't enough to kind of pick up on it with all the blending. But this nose is just really delicious. This is really sweet, very raisiny, almost like a wine type aspect to it. Really nice. All right, let's go for a sip for the last one. Here we go. Cheers. Oh, that one's really nice. I think that one has a really nice, very, very sweet finish to it. if there is peat in there, it's very, very, very light. I don't think I could say the word very enough, but really good. Let me go for another one. Ooh. That one has a really nice balance of the spice, the sweet. It's not overpowering on the finish, but the flavors in there kind of make up for the finish. Very mouth coating. I like that one a lot. Let's go for another sip. Yeah. I put that in the category of number 2 as like being really dangerously easy to drink, but it's definitely more complex than number 2, but still very good. You're still getting a lot of the raisin characteristic, the fig, still getting that on the palate, which is really unique. Barley, toast, honey butter. Definitely a nice malt, very sweet malt finish to it. That's nice. Let's see. Moose 76, is that the coveted Beagle Rare bottle? Yes, it is. The Beagle Rare has landed here in the Master Drum Whiskey Room. I'm going to be releasing my video on this one either tomorrow or early Friday. I'm going to shoot for tomorrow. And then this is headed to Scott and Bart at the Scotch Test Dummies next. So, Nick Foles, my total wine just got in Country Ham Batch in Boone County, 1833. Which would you choose? I've never had either. Normally, I would probably say the Boone County if it's the 12-year, but that Country Ham is delicious, so I would say the Country Ham if you're going to spend the money. Yeah, D just has like this interesting like raisin fig characteristic that's just really good. I like that one. But as far as like an overall experience, it probably lacks a little bit. It's not as mouth coating. It's not as doesn't have as much depth as 1 and 3. So, all right. So I think I have my ranking here. Let me just taste through these one more time real quick. I'm not going to get into too much detail. I would think that's one. That one's about 46 ABV, I think. Maybe a little bit higher. Maybe it hits 50%. Definitely sweet. Definitely savory. It's got that fig note to it. Really like that one a lot. Okay. Let's go taste through these one more time. Then we'll do the reveal and see who we're going to crown champion. CADB. CADB. Yep. That's how it's going so far, Mark. Captain says, pretty sure I'm out, boys. All right, let's go through a letter A one more time. That one is a peppery, peaty, sweet bomb. Really, really delicious. I like that one a lot. I think the proof point is spot on. It's got a really nice proof to it. Coats the palate very, very well. Probably the creamiest out of all 4. That one actually, because of that mouthfeel, it almost kind of puts it maybe number 1. I don't know. I have to kind of go between those two. But yeah, the most peppery, spicy. It's got some good peat to it, but it's also sweet as well. So I really like that one a lot. Let's go to B. Now B was very sweet. Yeah, B was very sweet, but I'm also getting a little bit of peat on there too. There's not a ton of spice here. It's very easy to drink, but also very delicious. It's got some good spice to it, though. Yeah, there's just not enough going on in the front and the mid palate. But all I'm getting real here is the spice on the finish. If it had some more heft of flavor up front to go along with that spicy finish, it would definitely be up there. But still a great blend nonetheless. Whiskey Brazil is in the house. Skull Vikings. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in, Whiskey Brazil. Appreciate it. Whiskey Lab says, I've heard more good things about Shiny Barrel. Yeah, Shiny Barrel's good. It's definitely a more typical Booker's flavor profile. But the, I don't know, something about that country ham, the intensity of the sweetness is just really, really good. It's, I feel like it takes what Booker's offers and just amps it up a little bit more. I don't know if anyone else in the chat has had the country ham. But if you have and you kind of feel the same, definitely let us know in the chat. All right, let's go to number 3 here. 3 definitely has the most interesting nose. There's definitely some old sherry stuff in here. I could just smell it. Some oak. The raisin, the dates in there. I probably can't pick out if it's PX or if it's Oloroso, but I would guess maybe some Oloroso. But that's the thing. I can smell the sweetness on the nose. Let's go to the palate. Hi, Juliet Miranda. Thanks for coming in, stopping by. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's crazy. The sweetness on the front of that palate, and then it just gives you this really nice, spicy mouth coating. There could be some peated stuff in there. It could just be the spiciness of it. Almost like if you've had like some of the Macallans, how the Macallans kind of provide that sweetness with a really nice balance of spice. Man, I don't know, that one's kind of tough to beat. All right, let's go to the last one here. Again, very sweet. Not a lot going on the palate. This one is the exact reverse of letter A. This one, all the sweetness and the flavors up front, but you're not getting much of a finish. Whereas letter A, you're not getting much up front, and you're getting a really nice spicy finish. It's just kind of missing out on some of that balance there. So if I'm going to grade these, I'm definitely going to go, and here we go. So number 3 here will go to number 1. Letter A, which is really close, or number 1 here, is going to go to second place. I'm going to give this one, because it has slightly a longer finish, which was number 4, is going to go to third place. And number 1 is going to go from 1 to last. So that is my ranking. All 4 really good guys. For the ones that came up with these blends, I think you guys did a really great job at blending different characteristics and working with what you had. I think for these 2, the ones on the end, I think it just needed a little bit more balance there to really make it a really great blend. For 1 and 2 here, these are really, really well balanced. Very sweet, very savory. It has some nice proof point to it. The only reason why I'm picking number 1 here is this one as number 1 is because the depth of flavor in here. It's got some really amazing sweetness up front. It's got a great creamy mid palate, and then on the end, man, the finish on it just kind of goes on and on. So I probably judge most whiskeys or most anything really on the finish. To me, the finish is the most important part of it, as well as the mouthfeel of a whiskey, because I feel like the finish is the one thing that kind of you hold on to that makes you want to keep going back to that whiskey. And whether it's sweet, whether it's salty, whether it's spicy, you know, the finish to me is that one thing that just lingers on and on and on that makes a whiskey worth it. So I really do judge a lot on the finish. So let's find out who is the champion. Here we go. So again, let me remind you who the contenders are, guys. So here are contenders: Patrick Fulmer, Rob D, Cap and Make It Happen, and Jason Coates. So those are our 4 contenders tonight. So good luck to all 4 of you. All right. What do we got? Jason Coates says blend D and A. Oh, I might do that. Yes, guys, please hit the like button. I really appreciate that, William. The like button definitely helps the videos, guys. So if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do. So here are the results. They are open. Da-da-dum. All right. Here are the letters that are assigned to each of your blends. So let's start with the fourth one here. And this one was letter B. And that belonged to Cap'n Make It Happen with Robert's Folly Blended Scotch. Really cool name, John. So yeah. Yours was very delicious, Cap'n Make It Happen. It just lacked on the front side, but it had a really great finish to it. So Cap'n Make It Happen comes in last place at B, but no one's really last here, guys. For you to I almost like talked like cousin Vinny. For you guys to come in and make these blends, I really appreciate it. Contributing to the show and to the channel. So all right. The Whiskey Dick's in the house. How you doing, Whiskey Dick? He says, "Oh, I see the Beagle Rare. Yes, it is here." Cap'n Make It Happen said 10-minute low-proof blend. Joseph Brazo, finally, Cap'n, you are such a loser. Oh my God, that's awesome. All right, let's go to third place and see who we got. This one comes in with letter A. This one belonged to Patrick Fulmer, Papa Pat's very special batch Infinity Scotch. Patrick Fulmer comes in with letter A. Again, very good blend. It just didn't have enough of a balance there. But thank you so much for putting that one in, Patrick. I really appreciate it. That's a dangerously easy sipper, and I could see going through a bottle of that like really quickly. Also with yours, Cap'n Make It Happen. I don't know if you're trying to make me drink those really fast, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Cap'n's and I'm going to take Patrick's. I'm going to blend them together because remember what I said. One of them had not a lot of front, but a good finish, and the other one had a lot of front and not much finish. So maybe blending these will actually do something kind of amazing. So Cap'n Make It Happen has walked into traffic. Don't do it. I need you for the next Blendageddon. All right. So we have Rob D and Jason Coates is all that's left. These are the two guys that are in the hunt. I do want to call out the second place winner. I am going to send you my next. I'm going to send you a new T-shirt when I get them in. My new batch of T-shirts are being created right now. So second place. For doing such a great job, I will send you a shirt. So no shame in getting second. All right, here we go. Second place goes to Rob D, which makes Jason Coates, my doppelganger. Jason C, the second or the first. He was probably before I was in the whiskey community. Gets first place. Congratulations to Jason Coates. Holy crap, dude. That is really delicious. Jason Coates wins the Blendageddon Scotch round. Rob D gets second place. Dark Meat Chicken says, send a sample of first place to second place. That's a good idea, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough for that. But really great. New Millennium called it. Congrats, Jason Coates. Absolutely. Very good, man. Yeah, that is a delicious, delicious blend. Now, I have Jason's blend here, which I am going to include in the description of this video once it's done. I'll read it off to you guys because he did include it in his message. So if you guys have your pens ready, but like I said, I am going to list it. Where is, okay. All right, so here is the blend. We have Klein Leash 14, Kalila 18 unpeated, Glendronach 18. There's that sweetness. I knew there had to be some older aged sherried scotch in there. The Glenrothes K-esque cask. HP 15. Wow, we had some Chivas 21 in there from the 1970s. Holy crap. And Ben Nevis cast strength at 62.4% ABV. That is one hell of a blend, sir. But, I mean, that Glendronach 18, I think that was the part I could smell like the most. It was just really deep and rich. But the slight peat to it, it wasn't overpowering. I feel like I kind of got the tasting notes on that one pretty good. But that is a great blend. Like I said, guys, again, Kleinleash 14, Kalila 18, Glendronach 18, Glenroth's KS Cask, HP 15, Chivas 21, and Ben Nevis cast strength. Woo! Yeah, what's actually KS Cask? Patrick Fulmer says, I think mine had the peat pepper finish. Yes. Hey, Richie Z's in the house. Welcome. How you doing? Jason Coe said, it's basically my blend from last time with a little extra age. Nice. Bourbon Apprentice, this is the coolest way to make the audience be part of the show. Kudos to you for doing this fun stuff. Oh, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate all you guys sending in the blends. It's always fun to collaborate with you guys. And again, honestly, I'm the real winner because I get to taste all this stuff. Jason Coates said it's a Glenroth single cask bottle for Kansas. Really nice. Yeah, that is... Bourbon Buddies, you're right. That is a freaking blend right there. That is a blend and a half. Hell yeah. Really great stuff, guys. Let's see how the Patrick Fulmer Cap and Make It Happen blend has been mingling here. See how it came out. Seriously, no joke. That took the best of both worlds and blended them together. Made it actually a really nice blend. It's got more fruit and some more flavor going on up front, and it still has the Patrick Fulmer spicy finish on the end. Yeah, that's good. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna post all four of the blends here at the bottom of the description once I get it from everybody. Be really, really good. Let me see here. I'm going to see, I think Rob D. Oh, Rob D actually did give me his blend. Let me reveal that one for you guys. So Rob D, who got second place. Here is my blend inside for when you're done. Here we go. He actually sealed it in an envelope. So I love always finding out what these blends are because, everyone gets really creative. Oh, it's on a little piece of paper. I'm like, where is it? All right, here we go. So I said his was sweet up front, spicy, mid-palate, a little bit of peat. I thought there was some Springbank in there. So let's see what was in here. Kleinleash Game of Thrones bottle. The Glendronach Cast Strength. There was the sweetness. The Old Putney 12. There it was, the Brooklotti. I swore I smelled some Brooklotti in there. The Isla Barley. Or I thought it was maybe Octomore, but it was Brooklotti. Ardbeg Korvyekin. Yeah, that was definitely a peaty dram. So again, 20 milliliters Kleinleash Game of Thrones bottle. The Glendronach Cast Strength Batch 7. Old Putney 12. Brooklotti Isla Barley 07. And the Ardbeg Korvyekin to round it out. Delicious, delicious blend. Oh, Cap'n emailed me the other one. Let's see. So, let's see if I got it here. Oh, yeah, here we go. Cap'n Make It Happen. Here's his blend, folks. The Roberts Folly. Wanted to keep it fairly accessible, so blended some pretty easy-to-come-by stuff. 2 parts Port Charlotte 10-year. 1 part Lagavulin 16. And 2 parts Dalmore 12. The Roberts Folly is a riff on the Stag Dalmore versus the Lion Lagavulin. Definitely not a high proofer, but just some fun. Absolutely, man. I think if you blended in there something that just had a little bit more of a finish to it, then you'll have something pretty special there. So I would advise you to keep working on that. Arthur Lopez, hey Jason, good to see you, man. I didn't get notified till just now. How are you doing? Oh, thanks for coming in, Arthur. Appreciate it. Doing great. We just crowned our champion. So, Jason Coates, you will be receiving this custom mash and drum matte black flask with some. It's got a funnel to it, so you could pour some good shots in there. And also, it comes in with some. You could do your blend if you want to do the equal parts. You could kind of measure it out with these, throw it in the flask. And also, like I said, when my shirts come in, I'll send you a shirt as well for winning, along with Rob D, the second place winner. And I'm going to send you a couple samples to put into that flask to try out. So congrats, Jason Coates. Congrats to Rob D. Congrats to Patrick Fulmer. And also Cap and Make It Happen. Thank you so much for putting these blends in. This was a ton of fun. I love doing this. What I do want to say is next week, like I said, we're gonna have a great representative. I think her name is Erica. I'm trying to remember. So Whiskey Crusaders will be on with me, along with Erica from Brooklotti. We're gonna be tasting some amazing Brooklotti expressions, learning more about the distillery, what a true Hebridean distillery is, what that means. I'm gonna be asking some real nerdy questions probably. Hope you guys enjoy it and stick around for that. And then the week after, we're gonna get into our the American whiskey blends. Like I said, I have about 14 or 15 to go through. So the quality and also the stakes are going to be pretty high. There's a lot of competition for whoever's going to win the last one. The defending champion, Christine Deems, did not enter a whiskey this year because she had some bad allergies and she felt like she couldn't blend. So that'll be coming next. Rob Davey, thanks for coming in, Rob Davey. Thanks for that awesome blend. Really appreciate it. Congrats, you guys. Congrats for everyone that sent in this blend, like I said. And again, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Hope you find some of those cool bottles that we found in the news. I'm going to take my first place blend here. And as I always say, it is not about the whiskey. It is the people you share it with. I will see you guys next week. Take care. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for all the support. And take care. I'll see you soon. Take care, everybody.